Thankfully, the game actually stores their progress in the fortress. So now we have the choice of going through Proto Man stage or Rock and Roll. I'll be going through Proto Man stage first. Mind you, if I didn't rescue all the 4 Roadmasters, we wouldn't be able to play as Proto Man here. He'd like to be a boss in the other stage. So Proto Man starts with a Proto Shield, as well as that orange charge shot, and his shield can deflect projectiles back at enemies. Nice remix of Proto Man's team playing in the background. So I have these platformers from Mega Man 7's Wily stage. You know, I like Proto Man's charge shot more than Mega Man's. It charges up a lot faster. We only have access to the Proto Buster though, none of our special weapons. Which makes sense, and I wasn't paying enough attention to what's going on there. It was introduced on this screen anyways that these are fragile blocks. Perhaps that's the sequel, Daibuman. That'd be a neat idea for a sequel, Blues and Forte. Again, I keep thinking that's actually solid, but it isn't. Not in good shape. I'm on my last life now. Sorry, but I really need that. Oh, how I want that. I was half expecting that platform to collapse first, though. Didn't time my jump correctly. Oh, I didn't know you could do that, Jedok. I thought they only collapsed when you stood on top of them. Thanks, Eddie. Time for the boss. Copy robot. Look at the amount of damage he deals to me, it's pretty crazy. Proto Man has his regular armor in the stage, but for the boss, yikes. It's this jumping I have to get used to. Well, back to the beginning, but at least now I know what to do. Again, the two hardest parts of the stage for me are the collapsing blocks, getting used to them, and the boss. Even the projectiles don't deal that much damage. Unfortunately, due to Proto Man's limitations, I can only have up to 2 buster shots on screen at a time. Hi Eduardo, welcome to the stream. It seems that for this game, my jump distance is a bit farther. Otherwise, for example in Mega Man Maker, I wouldn't be able to cross the gap that easily. I said that yesterday, Vincenzo, no. Time for the rematch against Copybot. I got his pattern down, but for the second phase he turns into roll. I think Roll's pattern was a bit easier, and for the third phase, he turns into Proto Man. Oh boy, he can deflect my projectiles too. That's it, time to use an E-Tank. And you can deflect it back at me too. Still crazy contact damage. That's the one thing I'm gonna complain about for this fight. That should have been tuned down. And if we fail, we're sent all the way back to phase 1. Now for the hardest phase. It's better to get hit by his projectiles instead of himself. And down he goes. I still think Proto Man's Buster is better than Mega Man's. Mega Man should have had this charge shot from the very beginning. With that done, time to go through the defense bunker. And this is where Blues, Rock, and Roll all meet up. And this is likely the rematch stage too. Hopefully I can farm it for weapon energy. Mega Man's normal, Roll's easier, and Proto Man's difficult. What was the point of that room then? Oh, I see. If I didn't rescue Fireman earlier, that's where I'd face off against him. That or make Roll harder, Panta. I thought Roll's movement pattern would be a lot more difficult to dodge. Here we'd face off against Honey Woman if we didn't rescue her. Meanwhile, on Roll's side... That's interesting. They don't share the same weapon energy. Nice attention to detail. Most fan games don't track it this way. Okay, Dagger Man. Once again, we're being rewarded for our heroism. and we're also getting a lot of extra lives thanks to it. My slide jump failed me. Mistimed my jump. That's a bit trickier than it looks. That's why that Metar is over there, in case you want a damage boost. That's where we face off against Skullman. And here we meet up with Rock. The same teleporter system as Mega Man 2, but now we can swap between characters at any time. First up is Dune Woman. Oh neat, we actually have different boss teams for the rematches. Dune Woman's weakness is the Beetle Drone. Pretty much destroys her. But we're forced to go through the bosses one at a time. Tide Man's weak to the Dune Missile, I guess. Or Dust Storm. No? Oh, Missile. Weak to the Blast Missile then. Beetle Woman, or Beetle Lady. Her weakness is the Soul Trap, I guess? I'm still gonna die once because that one attack. But once you die, we can swap over to another character. That's handy. Yeah, Beetle Lady is fun to fight. Reactor Man. His weakness is the Snow Roller. Not sure for the reasoning behind this, though. Oh, that makes sense, Daibuman. Hello, Ghost Woman. Your weakness is a laser. I still don't know how to break out of that. Currently, she's still the hardest boss for me to defeat. Missile Man. What would his weakness be? Dust storm? It is. I guess it blows away his missiles? Polar Woman. She's the second hardest boss for me to defeat. Her weakness, as we learned earlier, is the fire breath. And last but not least is Drake Man. His weakness is the bubble shield, or splash bubble I mean. It protects me against the fire as well. I should have used my energy more wisely. And that finishes the rematch level. Sandy Megman gets kidnapped again. Should have had another one for roll. No name for this stage, so I'm gonna save, just to be safe. According to some people, this game has a crashing issue, so just to be safe. The game never crashed on me during this Let's Play, but just to be sure. So whichever character that machine captures is dependent on which character you play as last. Now roll is captured. Hello, Wily Machine. Oh, these are actually solid. I thought they were just part of the background. Thankfully I can despawn them by swapping characters. Oh, it opens up the eye on the other side. Silly me. I thought I'd be able to destroy it or something. I wasn't paying attention to what was going on above. I'll first try doing this fight Buster only, then I'll start using special weapons. That's the run I had done. And that's the skull destroyed. So the first phase's weakness is the laser, second phase is the beetle drone. Still, this is unique. I love how this final boss is actually forcing us to use both characters. It's like a more involved version of ICU 2. Let me see what's up here first. An extra E and W tank. I wish I saw these earlier. As I was saying earlier, I like how this boss forces us to use teamwork repeatedly. Yeah, I knew I wasn't gonna make it. Yet again, I wish Mega Man had more mobility options or offensive options. These cogs also. Yeah, the music could have been better. I'm paying more attention to what's going on screen, so that's why I'm not commenting on it much. Yet again, another situation where I think I'm playing his role, and I much prefer mobility. I love Dr. Wily's expression upon taking damage. That ends the second phase. True that, Boomin. I just wish your collision was a bit better. Every time the lightning strikes, I swap characters too. It's alright, I knew I wasn't gonna win this. I need an E-tank. Oh, so checkpoints are at the Wily Castle. That's very thoughtful of you, game designer. Hey, this actually flips which characters I go through these phases with. Before I had to go through this with Roll, now I'm with Mega Man. It's over. Wily has been defeated. And the last phase of Final Boss's music is much better. But thanks to rescuing Proto-Man, Wily's actually gotten captured. I found the mandatory swapping to be awesome. It works well with the teams presented in this game. Rock and Roll stopped Dr. Wily's evil plans. Dr. Light repaired all the kidnapped robots and fixed their programming. Dr. Wily serves his time in prison. And during the epilogue, we now see what the Roadmasters are doing following being reprogrammed. So this is a good time to give my overall thoughts on this game as a whole. First and foremost, from my first playthrough, I say this is at the very least decent. Graphics were wonderful. Some of the better graphics I've seen in Mega Man fan games in quite a while. I especially like the parallax scrolling in several of the backgrounds. Music, for the most part, I think was above average, I say, above par. Though some of the musical tracks, like the first phase of the final boss, are just too ear-grating. Aha, Plant Man. To be fair, he is a flower, and he does attract bees and insects. Roadmaster sprites could be slightly better, but I found it to be passable. Better than passable, maybe. The level design I think was fine as well. I wish the gameplay took its gimmicks a bit further, especially with stages like in Dune Woman, but my main gripes come with the game design itself, or rather, how the game is balanced between rock and roll. Long story short, for the majority of the game, I feel Roll is a better character, and it shows in how the game is designed, not only in terms of level design, but also the boss fights. You can go through most of the game as Mega Man, but many of the platforming sections are made easier with the addition of a mini double jump, which Roll has, and it gets easier once you get the temporary hover ability. Now I don't mind if each character specializes in a different set of abilities, but the problem is, Roll's specialization is better. I get what they're trying to go for. Roll is better at platforming, Mega Man's better at dealing with enemies, but unfortunately, his base Mega Buster, especially with his charge shot, isn't the best. It takes too long to charge up, and it only deals 2 damage to both enemies and bosses. Even with the upgraded Buster, you have to wait for it to fully get charged up before you fire it off. I wish it worked more like Proto-Man's charge shot, and he should start out with the upgraded charge shot from the very beginning. This holds true with the boss battles, as I've noticed from watching the footage and during this episode that the boss and vulnerable windows are shorter, meaning that it's better to Buster Duel most of them, meaning that, once again, Roll has an advantage, especially as playing as her makes most of the boss patterns easier to dodge. Roll takes 1 extra damage from everything, but it's not enough to make her feel equal compared to Mega Man. She's outright better. Aw, now I feel a bit sad. In loving memory, Dieter Engelhard. Didn't realize he died last year. As I was saying, compared with, for example, Mega Man and Bass, this game takes into account Mega Man's abilities better. Put it another way, Mega Man feels like the hard mode of this game, whereas Roll feels like the not exactly hard but normal-ish mode of the game. Now, talking about upgrades, I like how if you rescue the allies, not only do they help you throughout all the Wily Fortress levels, it also makes it so you don't have to battle them in the final level, the penultimate level that is. I also like how if you collect the rock and roll letters, you can upgrade each of the character's abilities, although as I said, some of the upgrades are better than others. As for special weapons, I liked using most of them, although I should have used some of them more than others. For example, the capture ability from Ghost Woman, and the sand ability. Boss battles were fun, although, as I mentioned, some of them are definitely more difficult to suss out than others, like for example Polar Woman and especially Ghost Woman. Also, thank you for giving me 9 save slots and the ability to save during the endgame, so I can return to the fortress anytime. And that reminds me, some of the lag issues should be fixed, especially with the experimental laboratory. That was borderline unplayable for the first 2/3 of the level, so many lag spikes. And I like how the fortress forces you to play as each of the characters individually, though it worked better for Roll specialties than Mega Man's. But I like how the game comes together at the end of Mega Man and Roll working together, especially when we got through the Roadmaster rematches and the final boss encounter. For my initial attempts against the boss, is currently one of my favorite Wily Fortress bosses, though it could use some work with the music, and fixing the collision detection with the cogs. With all that said and done, I say that this game is at the very least decent, perhaps almost good. And if you're interested in Mega Man fan games, I recommend you try it out. It's not too difficult to complete, outside of a few stages. Well then, I hope you all enjoyed my Let's Play of Mega Man Rock'n'Roll, viewers. If you enjoyed it, please rate, comment, favorite, and or subscribe, as they all help out the channel. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter as well, and join my Discord server, as I regularly post updates there. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you all in a future Let's Play.